Morning, everyone. This is day number 360, and sorry, morning. Is that your friend Max? Come on, come on, Max. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, just here with Maxie boy. Max, say what's up. Max, say what's up. Hey. All right, guys. Welcome, welcome. If it's your first time tuning in, my name is Jordan Albeas. I'm the founder of dayNumber. I've been documenting my journey for the last 360 days, almost 1 year now, which is crazy. Crazy to even think. I mean, I know I said in the beginning, you look back, my first video back on July 28th, 2025. I thought I was talking about how Casey Neistat, went basically not live, but he documented his journey for 3 years, almost 3.5 years, daily vlogs, right? Not going live. Like, going live is easy. Just turn it on and boom, you're good, right? But man, document. Maybe after probably after like a few months, you're like, yeah, vlogging is easy, right? But yeah, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this, but I never knew how it would turn out, So Kyler Blocks plays, yo, what's up, Jordan? It's me. How are you today? I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. How are you doing? How are you doing, Kyler Blocks? Kyler, right? Yeah, how are you doing? Here with Maxie boy. Maxie boy. Sunny day today. Got the sweater on. Yeah, so yeah, I never thought I would be doing this. Even going live every day, I never thought I'd be doing that. I thought it was just gonna be like daily vlogs, like Casey Neistat. And actually, when Casey did his daily vlogs, it was while he was building a company, actually. But he thought it would be too boring to just talk about, guys sitting in a room all day. So he had to make like a story out of his day. And so, so that's what I did. I just started documenting my day every day, just sharing what happened each day of me building dayNumber. And in the process, came out of that, my intention was to build a community, a global community, and a VC fund and a documentary. And now how that's turned out is I'm raising a VC fund now. We got the community going, and the documentary is kind of happening through people's stories live. And so it's like a living documentary series, for all these founders that are sharing their journey and story. And my job is to get them seen and visible, and keep going and not disappear in silence. So not make it impossible for them to disappear in silence, actually, right? So that naturally supports them, right? How are you doing today? I'm doing great, bro. For me in my country, it's literally night. Oh wow. Which country are you from? Where's everyone tuning in from today? I'm here in Hamilton, Ontario. Like, if you know Toronto, then just think about Toronto, right? That's where I'm at. I'm not in Toronto though. Toronto's definitely it's like an hour and a half away from me. I'm like in between Toronto and Niagara Falls, if you could think about that. But yeah, where's everybody else tuning in from today? Yeah, so it's crazy how things turn out, and that's actually really what I wanted to talk about today. Neebies Water, hello, hey, what's up? Welcome. If it's your first time tuning in, my name is Jordan Albeas. I'm the founder of dayNumber. I've been documenting my journey here on YouTube for the last 360 days. On July 28th, it'll be a year and 1 day. That's gonna be crazy. So Sunday officially would be 365 days. So you guys want to be here for that. So hit the like and subscribe button, because definitely, people say, or even myself, the longest I've ever went documenting or making a video or uploading every day was I think it was like probably just over a month. When I was in Italy 10 years ago, actually, which is crazy. I'm in Sioux. Okay, Kyla Blocks. Yesterday I put my puppy in the bed so he can be nice or whatever. Yeah, nice, nice. Good stuff, good stuff. Hold on 1 second, guys. Just had to throw away Max's stuff. Sorry if you guys are eating. Hold on 1 second here. People talk about getting the bag. I got the bag. Alright, that's done with. Max, you good? Let me see, hang on. Hold on 1 second, guys. You good, Max? Yeah, at the basketball court here. So, what everybody up to today? What's the vibe today? As Ari says, Ari at home. Watch this guy, Ari at home. Really, really. Max, where you going? Come on, let's go. Okay, we're gonna go back this way. Usually I go that way, but it's like nice dog there. Thank you. What kind of dog do you have, or what kind of pet do you have? Oh, puppy. What kind of puppy do you have? Let's say you love me, but you never tell me what you did really. But I want you to know. Yeah, so what I wanted to talk about, my puppy is like a color white. Okay, nice. a lot of white dogs out there. So yeah, what I want to talk about is exactly what I was talking about earlier, which is this is what you need to do when you've decided that you want to build something. Whatever it is, you're working on a project, a company, maybe you have a certain goal in mind or a target that you're setting yourself towards, or you're going in a certain destination. Once you determine that, how it's going to turn out eventually, you have to allow it to happen naturally, right? Because I didn't, in the beginning, 360 days ago, like I said, my intention was to support mission-driven founders, people who want to impact billions of lives and also want to build a billion-dollar company, to support them to basically fulfill their mission and their vision with what they're building, right? So I thought the how I was going to do that was, okay, I'm going to launch a VC fund, and then I'm going to do a documentary series and then have like a global community. I was going to do a documentary series, of like going behind the scenes of like people who have gone from broke to billions. And then fast forward, maybe a couple months later, I ended up building a school community, which it was originally called the Billions Club. Okay. And then, stopped trying to get build a fund. And then after that, I decided, okay, you know what, like in December, to start building an app, a platform. Because I realized that throughout like the first couple, even 2 months or 3 months of documenting and building, there's many days where I wanted to quit, because I had stuff going on with my life personally. And, it was hard to keep going, especially when you're building alone and you're doing it outside of a full-time job and you have a family. There's many factors that can weigh in to say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to focus on my job, and my family. But because I was keeping track of how many days I was building, it reminded me of my commitment. It reminded me of why I was doing this, and at the same time, I was documenting publicly. So it was like I was putting my word out there. So it would have been very noticeable that I gave up, So that's what kept me going. I'm like, okay, you know what? If this can help me, it could probably help other people, So that's why I built the platform, dayNumber. And then fast forward, probably like 6 months or five months into it now, of building that, there's, funny enough, Adeo Resi, he launched something called the Start Fund, which is with the Tesla Group. And this guy, I was reading Elon Musk's biography this morning, and he actually partied with Elon. I didn't know that. That's crazy. And he actually even yeah, so he used to like do parties with Elon at like Penn State. Um, but yeah, I didn't know how this VC fund was gonna come together. So all I'm trying to say is that you gotta just go with the flow, and allow the how to naturally unfold while staying committed to the end goal of what you're building or what you're going towards, right? So Kyler Block's Play says, "Oh, I built tons of Legos, like the Minecraft one, and pieces, and I got a toy collection." Yeah, that's it. Okay, so you're still young. You're still young. Okay. Well, hey, look, if you're a kid tuning into this, just remember this. Remember that the how. I always tell my daughter, she's turning 9, and even my older daughter turning 16, sorry, that the how doesn't matter. You just gotta imagine that you've already accomplished what it is that you're looking to accomplish, and know that, somehow it's gonna come together, right? It's like living in that end state, knowing it's that you don't even have to do that. You just have to give your word to yourself and commit that, hey, I'm gonna do this. That's it, period. You know, and so that's what I mean is like remaining committed to what it is that you're building, and then also understanding that the how is going to be different. I was just reading Elon Musk's biography by Walter Isaacson. Yeah, that's it. Today I'm in school, so it's wild, like kids, bro. It's so loud. I'm gonna play on my phone. By the way, I'm grade 6. Like at the end of the collection. Okay. Yeah, man, I remember when I was in grade 6. That was like a year after the Twin Towers fell. Yeah, grade 6. That was interesting. Interesting times. But what I wish I knew, if I was talking to myself in grade 6, I would be 11, I guess. I would say, same thing I tell my daughter, anything's possible. You just have to decide that that's what you want to do. Like even Elon Musk, he wanted to travel in space. He was interested in electric cars. He was a very, ambitious kid. Who really wanted, who always like, who was insistent about getting what he wanted, right? And he even pushed himself, at 17 to travel to Canada, to leave South Africa, right? After being like with his dad for 7 years. But one of the things he didn't know how it was going to happen, right? He knew he wanted to be, he was interested in electric cars. He was interested in space, but he didn't know how it would come about, and then, the first company he started, Zip2, was about basically taking the yellow pages and putting it online, right? An online directory with like a map, you could see, it's like Google Maps now, basically, and he didn't know how that was going to happen. And then eventually he lost his seat at CEO, and then they ended up selling, and then he got his first car. He got his first $22 million payment, He said his account went from 5,000 to 22 million, but he didn't know how it was going to happen. And then he took 12 million of that, 16 million that he had left, put 12 million into X.com. At that time, it wasn't Twitter yet. It was just basically something to do with he wanted to have a social network and an online banking system, that revolutionized like the banking industry, right? And yeah, he also didn't know how that was going to come about. And then eventually he had to combine with another company. And then eventually he got kicked out of that company as like the leader of the company. He still had the shares. So when they exited, he left with 250 million. And then that's what led him to like, starting SpaceX and like Tesla and everything, So don't worry about the how. And he even said himself when he was talking to Max Levchin, who was the co-founder of Confinity, which was PayPal, basically, saying that it was actually it was actually a good thing that he got ousted from the board, right? Because if he, because then he said he would be stuck, building PayPal, right? But instead he's focused on SpaceX, and then Solar City and Tesla. So, and he risked all his money on that as well. So, I mean, at the end of the school, okay, cool. yeah, here it's still summer break, but anyways, guys, my main thing that I wanted to share with you guys, I do have to head out, is that, you know, set the destination and let go of how things are gonna happen. You know, go with the flow. You know, allow the how to unfold before you, and know that you're gonna get to the end of the destination, right? And no matter how it turns out, you know, just like I shared with you with Elon Musk, he didn't know how things were gonna turn out with those two companies. Now he was gonna go into building space. He just had to, you know, deal with what is, and eventually he got to his destination, right? So, anyways, guys, have a great day. Shout out to Kyler Block's Plays. I think you're the only one that shouted, commented. Have a great rest of your day. Oh, Jason River Fuentes, what's up? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. You just caught the end. All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. End of day number 360. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Thanks again.